The October 2019 Forbidden List has for the majority checked the top decks of the format. But with that being said, it opens a whole new can of worms on what is the best decks of the format. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, in this video we got you covered. In this video we're going to be going over a complete analysis over the format as well as what are the best top contending decks. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then make sure you destroy that subscribe button, but more importantly go hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. So without further ado, I present to you the best decks for the October 2019 format. The October 2019 Forbidden List didn't kill any decks in my humble opinion. I do feel that Sky Striker and Orcus were hit heavy by this Forbidden List, but if you look over the past couple of months, those were the two decks that were topping the majority of the format. As mentioned in my previous video, there have been 26 other decks that has topped in the last 2 months. So being able to hit or tone down some of those strongest decks of the format, the one that were taking majority spots, may see some other decks being played and tried out and potentially them being able to flourish. With that being said, I still think that Sky Striker is one of the best decks of the format. Yes, even with Mecha Widow Anchor being limited to 1, as well as having multi-role limited, and on top of that Sky Striker Ace Kagari, the deck still has Sky Striker Mobilize Engage at 3. Mecha Widow Anchor was the Forbidden Chalice and the Mind Control that was a quick play spell card. It was one of the most busted cards to exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! At this current time, and its limitation is only right. But that doesn't mean that Sky Striker doesn't have any other great cards to play with. Shark Cannon is a searchable DD Crow that could special summon your opponent's monsters to your side of the field for a free link time, as well as Afterburner being able to destroy face-up monsters and speller traps. I seriously think that Sky Strikers will move towards these other spell cards to be able to disrupt the opponent or just break their board. Not to mention that the deck can still play some really good cards like There Can Be Only One, saying that the Sky Striker monsters are machines and Sky Striker Ace Kagari is a warrior. Why'd you do that? The new support for Sky Striker in Ignition Assault only means that Sky Striker will get stronger within a couple of months' time. This is a deck that I would not sleep on or say is anywhere near bad. Okay, so I have to say it. I have to say it one time for my boys. Jammin' Waves! Card's insane. It's still pretty cool. The next strategy I think that will be in contention is True Draco. Now, True Draco has been documented to have a hard Orcus match. Dengirsu from the graveyard being able to disrupt cards like your Dragonic Diagram before you can pop them off, or just having cards that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects at certain given times can be pretty problematic to the True Draco strategy. Not to mention that Crescendo not only negates the activations of your cards, but banishes it, preventing your True Draco cards from activating. With the Orcus hit from the Forbidden List, I'm not saying Orcus is going anywhere, but it does tone down a lot. True Draco doesn't have to deal with a lot of hybrid Orcus decks, and it can still be a very big power deck of the game. Its ability to be able to destroy your opponent's spell and trap cards, which since we are entering a new format, a lot of players like to opt to back row rogue decks, is a driving point for the strategy. Did I also forget to mention that these spell cards allow you to tribute summon additionally? And they can draw cards from your deck to your hand? True Draco is really good at that. You can also expect more hybrid True Draco decks. Sky Striker True Draco is a strategy that has proven to be successful at YCS Fort Worth. Evil Eye True Draco is a thing, and with the new Evil Eye card coming out in Chaos Impact, that could be deadly, as well as the new Hakai or Unchained True Draco that is coming out at Chaos Impact as well. I think True Draco is trending up right now, and I think it's one of those strategies that you guys should pick up before some of those cards that haven't been reprinted go up in price. When a strategy gets a ton of options, more often than not, it becomes a hybrid deck. And what happens to a deck that becomes a hybrid deck is a lot of the core components of the main strategy get swept under the rug so it can be this vanilla strategy to fit into the other parts of the hybrid deck. Well, that's pretty much what happened with Orcus and Nightmare Mermaid, and now since Nightmare Mermaid is banned, the deck is dead. That's seriously laughable. Like, me and TJ, we had a really good laugh at people that thought that this deck was dead. Orcust is a really good deck, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I personally still prefer the pure route because you can play so many wacky cards and have a ton of interaction with the entire strategy and Dark Machine monsters in general, but I hear that Luna Light Orcust and Cyber Dragon Orcust are still really powerful, and the reason why is because with the hit of Nightmare Mermaid, you can now focus on some of those other cards that are just busted, such as Orcust Crescendo, which not only can negate and banish a card effect, this card actually fetches you any Dark Machine monster while it is in the graveyard. The only drawback is that you can only summon Dark Machine monsters, but Orcust cards are Dark Machine monsters. And there's some really powerful Dark Machine monsters. The deck can still pump out its standard Orcust boards, but cards like Longirsu become a little more powerful, as they should. Longirsu has the ability to shuffle 2 machine monsters from your banished pile to the deck to send any linked card to the graveyard. In an area of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where decks link summon before they make any other type of summon, or have to put cards to arrows, this card is scary good. Topologic Bomber Dragon is another card that is amazing with this deck. Imagine summoning Orcust monsters continuously to your Topologic Bomber Dragon to have dark holes on your opponent's turn. And did I forget to mention that Topologic Bomber Dragon has a similar effect to Longirsu? And that while Longirsu points to Topologic Bomber Dragon, Longirsu can't be destroyed? The deck is a lot more powerful than what people expect, but I know what you guys are thinking. Y'all want to see a deck profile. So go ahead and like this video up, share with a friend, and post down below in the comment section if you guys are ready for a new Orcust deck profile. Right now, in this format, players think that Thunder Dragon is the best deck of the format. Now, some players think this because they also think Orcust and Side Striker are dead, which is the furthest thing from the truth. And players also feel that there is nothing in contention with Thunder Dragon. While I do disagree, Sky Striker and Orcust aren't dead decks, and then there's decks like Altergeist that can combat the Thunder Dragons. This deck is still really powerful. It can get under Nibiru by summoning a Thunder Dragon Titan with multiple disruptions. Dimensional Shifter is a card that prevents the opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Against certain strategies. And on top of that, Thunder Dragon Colossus is a card that can't be destroyed as long as you have Thunder cards in your graveyard to banish and prevents the opponent from searching. I think that Thunder Dragon does have a really solid spot in the meta, and it not being hit for the second Forbidden list in a row is a good thing for Thunder Dragon players. But it's clearly not the best deck of the format, especially with the new cards we're getting with Chaos Impact. It does become just a little bit stronger with a couple of cards, but new strategies coming in are here to contest Thunder Dragon. So what happens when you can summon a monster with 8,000 attack to your side of the field for free? Well, normally you win games, and Grin Maju is a deck that does that. The Golden Castle Strongbird routes prevents your opponent from attacking and banishes 10 cards from your deck. And then you still have cards like Pot of Desires to get you free cards and Pot of Extravagance to get you free cards. The deck plays really nice with Danger as they all are trade-in targets and allow you to break your opponent's pivotal cards that will prevent you from attacking with Grin Maju. This deck is just stupid good. I never thought that a card from Invasion of Chaos would reach its height several years later. It's also one of my favorite decks of the format because, like, I mean, come on now, who doesn't love Grin Maju? Like, if you've played an Invasion of Chaos, you've been waiting forever for this card to be competitive. Solomon Gray did fall out of favor towards the end of last format, but this format is new beginnings. Not only did Sky Striker and Orcust get brought down to a level where almost everything feels competitive, Solomon Gray also get new support and the Chaos Impact set. I'm pretty excited to see how Solomon Gray can respond to this, as it has always been a deck that didn't have a lot of cards to put inside of the main deck, but you could always back up with hand traps. Now, hand traps are an entirely different story. They suck. And I still want to make that video about hand traps being terrible inside of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game right now, which is the reason why players don't play Called by the Grave either, but different story. I feel that eventually I'll be able to make that video, but back to Solomon Grates, the deck that still has everything in its arsenal right now and that does get stronger with the new Chaos Impact set. Watch out for this deck. It's still really good, and I think players are starting to catch on that some of those older Solomon Grate cards or those other Solomon Grate cards that weren't being played are actually pretty good. The oddest bunch on this list has to be Pendulum. And normally I have to make some obligatory Pendulum talk, or make some room to talk about Pendulums, just because the glue eaters down below will scream and rage how Pendulum are one of the best decks. This time around, it's kind of true. Pendulums are one of the best decks de facto, because it is one of the only decks now that can make multiple negate boards. If you guys were looking for your combo fill, then Danger Thunder isn't as powerful with losing Aggro Pain. Pendulum didn't necessarily need Aggro Pain to pop off with its combos. Pendulum didn't necessarily need Aggro Pain to pop off with its combos. Wait, timeout. I said the card's name right. And can still make some of those deadly negate boards. And just like I said before, it's one of the only decks that can make that deadly negate board. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a Pendulum enthusiast or even a Pendulum master, but I understand good decks when I see them. And when every other combo deck gets hit around Pendulum except for Pendulum, I mean, I guess it's time to pick up Pendulum again. Now, I know what you guys have been thinking. You've been waiting this entire video for me to say Heroes are one of the best decks of the format. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. I think that Heroes are really good, but the Forbidden List didn't solve the hero problem. Now, I know you guys are gonna post down below in the comment section, CaliEffect, Masked Hero Darklaw is the best card in the world, and I can back it up with a Destiny Hero Plasma, a Vision Hero Adoration, and an Evil Hero Malicious Bane. But if you really look at the board, the only good cards are the Destiny Hero Plasma, which is really good, and the Masked Hero Darklaw, which is okay now. Putting resources into a board like that is good, I guess, but it doesn't equate to game. We're in a spot in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where a board like that is kind of laughable. I mean, you just really wasted resources to summon two monsters that don't do anything for you. I don't think that Heroes are a bad deck of the format. I think it's a pretty good deck. But putting it as one of the best decks of the format, where the deck really doesn't have a great going first play and is reliable on the search, where players think that Thunder Dragon is the best deck of the format, I mean, that just seems like a cause for concern. With that being said, that is the hottest take from this video. Go ahead and comment down below if I am wrong, what decks are the best decks of the format, or if I am right. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the CaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, again, be sure to like this video up. Let us know what you guys want to see next. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day, like I am.